What is going on, guys? Good morning, almost afternoon. I am in the car and I am once again not driving, so I'm with my wife. She's driving the truck so I can chat with you all. Wanted to chat about principles, and so what's up, Berna? Principles. Do you have them? Do you stick to them? Do you do the things that you say you're going to do based on the principles that you hold? I can tell you guys that I am one of the only motherfuckers that I know that sticks to his principles. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Enneagram test, but that is one of my things. I'm an Enneagram 1, and that's called the Reformer. And within that, I seek justice, and I am very principle-based. And so a couple weeks ago, I did a video, and I let you guys know about this situation I'm having with this contractor. So if you didn't catch that video, let me tell you about it. Hopefully my connection stays good here while we're driving to the airport once again. But we had a contractor come into our house and repair our kitchen ceiling. Our dog groomer.
Love you, Daddy.
Our dog groomer hooked up a hose to our tub to groom our dog. Ended up flooding our kitchen. Ended up dropping the ceiling just from grooming our dog because the water had nowhere to go. So we did the whole insurance thing. We go through the process. Our insurance says, here, hire these guys. They're an approved vendor through us. They will come in, they'll mitigate, they'll repair, we'll get it done. Well, guys, that incident happened over 3 months ago. And literally what happened was the contractors came in. They had to, redo the whole kitchen ceiling over the course of 4 days. So for 4 days, my family did not have access to our kitchen. We were in our basement, cooking food down there, cooking food outside, eating in our basement because of this, right? Huge pain in the ass. And the big thing was the contractor that our insurance told us to hire, or said hire these guys, they fucked up. They did a terrible job. Not only did they do a terrible job on the repair, they damaged our ovens in our kitchen because they just didn't care. And so this was in the end of July. So a month and a half later, give or take, is finally when they completed the work. So after they completed the work, my wife and I noticed we had all these issues. What's up, Kendra? We had all these issues, right? Like, you could see the repair. You could see the patchwork. They did a really shoddy job, and they wanted me to accept it. In fact, these guys were such shitheads, they told the insurance that I accepted it, which was 100% false. So I go to battle with them. And if you don't know me, or if you have not gotten this, I am very direct. I don't have time for bullshit. I'm very direct in my communication, and a lot of times people take that in different ways. They take it as me being confrontational. They take it as me being arrogant. It's not that at all. I just have a direct form of communication that I just don't have time for this. And a lot of that stems from my 14 years in the fire department. We didn't have time for bullshit. We had to get our message across. We had to receive messages and then go to work. When you're inside a burning building, seconds matter. So that's how I speak. I speak truth. I speak directly to you. And most people, one, can't handle it, and two, are not accountable for themselves or their work. So from basically August 1 to September, like the first week of September, I am going back and forth with these contractors. They won't show up, and if they do, they wait a week, they come up, they go, yeah, we need to fix that. And ultimately they didn't. And the final straw of the camel's back was I was talking with one of the more reasonable employees that I had been dealing with. And I said, look, you guys fucked this job up. And he got his panties in a bunch and hung up on me. I did a whole video on that. And I ended up rage stacking him, and it was super beneficial, but I'm no stranger to the contractor game. A contractor that can't handle the word fuck, yeah, you're a special kind of fucking stupid. So, lo and behold, the contract I signed with these guys, they could put a lien on my house for not paying them. So, through this process, I've basically got the insurance back involved and said, hey, this is one of your contractors. You need to call them and make it right. So finally, after weeks of dealing with this, we finally got a settlement today. So my proposal to them was 2 weeks ago. I said, look, you guys fucked this job up. I'm going to offer you $2,000 to walk away. I will go hire somebody that can get this job done, and you remove all of the agreements within that contract. So I got a response yesterday, and they pretty much agreed to all of my terms, but here's what they added. They wanted me to sign a non-disclosure, barring me from telling the truth on social media, barring me from making any verbal or electronic communication about how fucking shitty they were. Any guess what you guys think I did? In the most polite way that I can, I told them to cram that up their ass. Why? Because I have principle. Now, most people would have been so done to this point, they would have paid them their money to walk away, and they would have fucking signed that. Not me. Not me, not my family. Because principles are a frame that we operate our life on. They help us make decisions. They help us not make decisions. And, you know, my wife and I, who's in the car, we had a conversation about this last night. I'm like, I considered it. I'm like, yeah, we could just walk away with this. I could sign this, and we could be done with it. But having a company that sucks from the beginning come and tell me that I cannot exercise my God-given right to say what I want, when I want, how I want, it goes against my principles. It goes against everything that I stand for. It goes against everything that my wife and I stand for. And this brings me back to a couple years ago during COVID. We were some of the only people that we knew that took a stand for our principles. We lost business, we lost family members, we lost friends, and it was a trying time for us. Now, some of you may be triggered because I said that, because if you know that I stood for my principles, you know that I didn't put a fucking mask on my face, you know I did not get a fucking jab. Under all of that, we stood on our principles. We picked our hill that we were willing to live or die on. And the sad part about all of that shit that happened a few years ago is a lot of people did not stick to their principles. They did not stick to what they felt within themselves and the laws and the guidance and the stories and the principles they have for their life. They did not stick to them. They caved under scrutiny. They caved under pressure from their family, from their friends, from their employer, from their government. They caved. Why? Because they didn't have principles. Or they have principles, but they did not believe in their principles. There's a lot of people out there that felt they should not have to do X, Y, Z. but they chose to do it anyway. And that is the choice that they would have had to deal with. So, you have anything to add about principles, or you just want to drive?
I think a lot of people, hi guys, they know these things, that internal voice, or when you feel that internal, peace, and they don't listen to it. They get themselves into trouble because they don't listen to it when they should. I tell this to moms all the time of kids when I take care of them. They get pressured by the pediatrician into doing things when they don't feel it's the right thing. You don't have to have a doctorate degree. Like, you are your parent of your child. You have 100% right over your decisions with them, over your body, over your business, whatever that is. Like, when you feel that and you don't stick to it, there's going to be consequences, because it's your body guiding you to stick to your principles and you're not listening.
Yeah. Really well said. Now, I considered for a minute, for my family's sake, should I sign this agreement, and would I feel comfortable being under those terms? And like I said, we considered it for a second. But I was so willing to stick to my principles that I was willing for them to possibly put a lien on my house, because that is a contract that I had signed. I was willing to go to court and fight this, because I know that I am correct in this situation. I know that they did such a shitty job, and they may think I'm completely unreasonable because I said the word book. But what it came down to, guys, was I was willing to go to battle, because that is what is just. That is what is right. And I ended up looking at this company's reviews. They're called Pro Restoration, Professional Restoration here in Colorado. I looked at their reviews, and do you know how many other fucking reviews that were on there in a negative light that said exactly what I experienced? They did a shitty job, the workmanship sucked, they didn't show up, they weren't communicative. So what they were trying to do, what's up, Kurt? What they were trying to do to me, because they probably understood with someone that speaks truth and speaks as directly as I do, they probably fucking knew that I would talk. They fucking knew that I would give them an honest review of my account. So what they do, they tried to shut me up. They tried to put a gag order on me, essentially saying I could not talk about that experience. Now think about that, guys. This also goes to the point that if you own a company, your company has principles. So this company was clearly this is not the first time they've had to go through this process, because they put in this contract that they wanted me to sign, in this agreement, that I could not speak my mind. Now, why would they do that? If me as the homeowner is so fucking wrong, why would they need to do that? Why would they need to try and silence me? It's because of fucking guilt. They knew they were wrong. They knew that they did not stick to their principles. They did not stick to their agreement that I signed with them. They knew that, because if I was wrong as a homeowner, then they would be willing to go to bat for their employees and the work, right? It stands on its own merit. But they didn't do that because they fucking knew. They knew they did a shady job. They knew it was a fly-by-night deal. And that's probably all the work that they fucking do. So I get an email, because I emailed last night. I said, you know what? I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to sign this agreement. You're barring me from speaking my mind about my honest opinion. And that's the thing, guys. Nobody tells me what to do besides God. And maybe sometimes my wife. But I'm sure as hell not going to let some shitty ass company tell me what I can and cannot say, because I have principles. And I was willing to go to bat, not just for my family, but for any other fucking family that was going to deal with this shitty ass company. So, the next email that I just literally got just like an hour ago, they said, you're released and you don't know anything. And the reason they said I don't know anything is because they're trying to buy me. They're trying to buy the fact that they don't want me to put the truth out there. Like, the fact that this company operates like this just shows you their lack of principles and the lack of principles that they have as a company and as people. So we're about to pull into the airport here. Again, I always don't think my lives are going to go this long. I hope, and I see a couple people on, so thank you so much for listening. But guys, this is critical. Like, if there was only one thing I think I could teach my kids, it would be this. It would be stand on your principles. Understand why you have principles. And for me, it's been something that's governed my life. And it's not always easy. Like today, I could have got a whole different email saying, okay, cool, we're putting a lien on your house. You haven't paid us. We did shitty work. We're taking you to court. That's what I expected. But I stuck to my guns. And I would encourage you to do the same. And if you're somebody that lacks principle and you don't know how to do that, you don't even know what your principles are, then send me a direct message and I'll tell you how you can apply to my coaching collective and we can get this figured out for you. Because you got to remember, having principles impacts every area of your life. Do you have principles when it comes to working out? Do you have principles when it comes to meditating or talking to God? Do you have the principles in place that set up your relationship with your wife or your kids or your employees, your business, just like I explained here? These are the guiding principles of our life. And a lot of people do not have this. A lot of people are lacking their compass when it comes to having principles within their life. So shoot me a DM, we can have a chat. Other than that, we are heading out to Florida for work with a little bit of play. So I'm sure I will be coming to you live at some point from the beach. So with that, guys, I'm signing off. Have a great day.